What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on LeBron James and not just LeBron James, but it was one simple little statement that Michael Jordan made. And the statement that he made, I'm gonna play the audio, but the statement that he made just really just sums up everything about LeBron James and his career, in my opinion. And so, in my opinion, LeBron James has been the kind of player who really was, because he was given everything. LeBron James was crowned, the King James from day one, right? And when you crown somebody or when you appoint them as the king without them having to work for it, without them having to earn it, then there's no incentive for anybody, and LeBron James included. There's no incentive for anybody to work hard, to grind, because he already have it. And that, in my opinion, was a big mistake that the NBA made when they, right from the jump, they just appointed LeBron James like King James, and they made him the face of the league and everything. And so he didn't have to work for it. And also they allowed him to do things. Well, he was allowed to do things to even make his road to championships, his road to success even better. And what that did to the NBA is it really just turned off fans, like people who really love the game of basketball and people who've been watching the game for years. If you seen Kobe play, you seen Mike, and you seen Magic and Bird, and you see how they dedicated themselves to the game, and then you watch LeBron James, like, you as a fan will feel cheated. Like, their fan, whatever fan base LeBron James played for, they will feel cheated because you didn't get that same type of dedication and passion from LeBron as you did with players in past generations, right? And so, with that being said, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to play what Michael Jordan said, and every time Michael Jordan makes a comment, then you know people react to it because people know that Michael Jordan, how he felt about the game, and how Michael Jordan, how he's an ambassador for the game, and how Michael Jordan represents himself when it comes to basketball. So listen to this one simple statement that Mike said, and you know it's the truth.
Hard to be hungry when you have. Simple as that. I mean, if you don't have, you are willing to do whatever you have.
Michael Jordan.
All right, that statement. It's hard to be hungry, when you have, right? And so, like I said, I have been watching Michael Jordan since he was playing in college, but when he came to the NBA, he earned everything he got. He had that passion and that dedication, and if you watch what he went through when he was playing Detroit, how they beat him up, they made him earn everything. The Detroit Pistons really made Michael Jordan tough mentally and tough physically. Because of Detroit, Mike started going in and getting in that gym because he knew he was going to take a beating from Detroit, right? He learned through his experiences with going against Boston. Although Mike individually had success against Boston, but Boston always used to beat Mike. Milwaukee had Sidney Moncrief, and they had some other guys, and they used to beat Mike and give Mike a run for his money. So it wasn't just Detroit. Nobody around the league, nobody around the league bowed down to Mike or gave Mike anything. They all challenged Mike, and they made Mike earn everything he got. But Mike's passion and his love for the game, Mike's determination made him want to be a better player, and it made him want to beat those guys. Even to the point where when the Chicago Bulls bought Phil Jackson in as a player, Mike listened to Phil Jackson and was receptive to the message that Phil Jackson, um, had for Mike. Had they already, crowned Mike and told Mike that that it was his show and may I don't know. Mike may not have worked the same way, but Mike, he put everything he had into being the best player that he could be, and that's why fans right now are feeling cheated when you compare the different generations, right? Like now, I don't even like to compare the different generations. Like it ended like once Kobe left, right? From Kobe on back through wherever you want to stop at, the 90s, the 70s, those guys just had a whole different mindset. The NBA was different from the beginning all the way up into like when Kobe retired. I forgot what year Kobe went out. But it's just a whole different mindset, right? But and then when you get to the LeBron James era, uh, you got LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Those guys, the basketball, I can't compare those guys because their era is softer and it's just softer. Like like the competitiveness and the competition level is just too different. And you can't really compare those two, right? And so that's why I don't think that like again, like I said, when you take Michael Jordan or LeBron James and you allow him to move from team to team up with other all-stars like Chris Bosh, then him and Dwayne Wade. LeBron James didn't work on his game or anything. He didn't have to because why develop a low post game when you can just go ahead and go play with somebody who already has a low post presence? Why develop a mid range game when you can go to Miami with Dwayne Wade and Dwayne has a mid range game. Dwayne play everything that LeBron James lacked. He can just team up with somebody like that. And then in the summertime, all he has to do worry about is staying in conditioning, good conditioning. To watch LeBron James now shoot in his 23rd year in basketball, man, like this dude hitting the side of the backboard. He shoot air balls. When you watch him, like sometimes he don't even square up when he's shooting, there's no consistency to his form. There's no consistency to his shot in his 23rd year. By the time, at your 23rd year, now I have seen some guys come to the league who couldn't shoot, and by the time they retire, they just is lights out. For instance, Ray Allen could score. He was known as a scorer. But when he came to the league, he wasn't known as a three-point shooter. That wasn't Ray Allen. Then you had who else? Jason Kidd was known as a distributor and a passer and a pure point guard. But Jason Kidd turned into a really good shooter. Same thing with Magic Johnson. Like Magic Johnson he improved his shooting over the years. But it's not the same case with LeBron James, right? And like at this deep into his career, 23 years in, no way, you don't see guys shooting a bunch of air balls or uh his form is inconsistent. He's hitting the side of the backboard. That this far into his career, it's just evidence that LeBron James has not over the years been working on his game. And I think that once LeBron James retire, all this stuff is going to come back to bite him, you know, because he didn't work for it. And once he separates from the NBA, I just think it's going to be they're no longer attached to LeBron James, so they won't have to protect his image. And I think it's everything he's going to pay for the fact that he cheated the game, basically. I and really I can't say anything I wouldn't be able to say this about anybody else that came, even from his generation, like Steph Curry. He perfected his art. You like nobody shoots the ball like Steph Curry shoots. When you think about Kevin Durant is a scorer. He perfected his art. But you can't look at LeBron James and say the same thing. So that's why I think that he really cheated the game of basketball. And I think, once he separates from basketball, I think all of this stuff is going to come out, and I think it's going to hurt him. If he catching flack like this now while he's playing, just imagine what's going, like the pushback he's going to get once he retire. So that's my take on it. Y'all make sure to like, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.